If you hit your 30 or more, ignoring certain truths doesn't just cost you time, it locks you into a permanent level. If you brush this off now, you might be choosing to stay average for the rest of your life without realizing it. If you are 30 or older, you know what wasted time feels like. The good news is that notable achievement usually follows a period of struggle and mistakes, and men seldom succeed before 40 to 50 because their energies were dissipated earlier in life. You have paid the price of knowledge through experience. If you are ready for the secret, you possess the experience necessary to use it. We are going to expose the few simple truths that, if ignored now, guarantee mediocrity. And we will turn your maturity into the weapon required for organized, massive achievement. The true secret is that your greatest liabilities, your regrets and delays, are now your greatest leverage. You must now learn to apply the philosophical wisdom of your years to the practical pursuit of fortune. I speak to you directly. You feel the sting of regret. You see the clock moving. You are held back by the fear that it is too late. But I tell you this truth from my study of the wealthiest. You are not too late, but you do not have time to waste. Your accumulated life lessons are the necessary fuel for the acceleration that must start today. Your urgency is the one indispensable quality that youth cannot purchase. It is a psychological pressure cooker that, when channeled correctly, guarantees high velocity. You possess the maturity to recognize the finality of the clock, and we will use that recognition as the ultimate motivation. If you are stuck in an average life after 30, it is because you have accepted indifference, the chief symptom of the fear of poverty. You confuse stability with success, and you have settled for a life that offers meager compensation without protest. This acceptance of the minimum guarantees that you will be locked into the ordinary. Indifference is characterized by mental and physical laziness and a willingness to tolerate poverty without complaint. You must replace vague hope with a singular, forceful, burning desire for a definite chief aim. This state of acceptance is more dangerous than open failure because it masquerades as contentment. The indifferent man views ambition as a risk, choosing the certainty of struggle over the challenge of prosperity. The average man is easily satisfied with survival, which is why he never achieves command of his own economic destiny. Indifference is the spiritual anchor that chains the soul to the docks of mediocrity, and its only antidote is the white-hot heat of a compelling, definite purpose. You must refuse to accept the limited compensation that life offers the man who makes no demands. The average person, particularly after 30, has a lack of ambition. He has learned to live with the fear of poverty and the consequences of past mistakes, leading to a profound unwillingness to demand more from life. This failure is a direct result of having a goal that is neither specific nor backed by emotional intensity. You merely desire to be comfortable or safe, and these vague hopes are utterly powerless to influence the great driving force of your mind, the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind requires a command written in the language of burning desire and definiteness, not gentle requests. The failure of the majority to articulate a definite purpose is the chief cause of their failure to accumulate financial independence. The law of mental chemistry requires a definite target to organize the necessary force for creation. The forces of your mind will remain disorganized and directionless until you give them a crystal clear objective backed by a fiery obsession. You must define your goals so clearly that your subconscious mind has no choice but to commence execution. The mental energy that was once dissipated in worry must now be focused into a laser of definite purpose. To shatter the average level, you must ignite a burning desire, the first step toward riches. This desire must be so sharp, so consuming, that it becomes a non-negotiable obsession. Your maturity allows you to convert the pain of regret into this intense force. The intensity of your purpose must be so great that you are willing to sacrifice temporary comforts for permanent freedom. This burning desire is the mental equivalent of the money you wish to acquire. This obsession must be the single dominating factor in your life, directing all other thought impulses. This singleness of purpose is the magnetic core that draws the necessary resources and allies to you. Without it, all other steps are merely hollow motions. It must consume you completely, leaving no space for doubt or retreat. Consider the classic example of Edwin C. Barnes, a man who desperately wanted to partner with Thomas A. Edison. When Barnes arrived at Edison's laboratory, he resembled a tramp, but his mental attitude was that of a king, driven by a burning desire to become Edison's business associate. He had no money or education, but he had purpose. That singular intensity was the only credential Edison required, because Edison recognized the force of a definite chief aim backed by faith. Barnes was willing to burn his bridges and stand by until he won. The desire was so intense that it eliminated every possible retreat, making success the only path forward. Barnes understood that persistence, fueled by desire, is simply irresistible. Barnes's story proves that the only capital truly required for success is the mental capital of definite purpose and desire. Barnes did not wait for a formal invitation or collateral. He used the raw, undeniable power of his definite mental demand to create his own opportunity. His desire was a psychological engine that refused to stop until it achieved its definite goal. Barnes did not achieve his goal through luck. He achieved it through the organized force of his desire. You must now apply the same organized force to your life. The accumulation of money seldom happens by chance. It happens by definite law. The law of definiteness is the antidote to the chaos of wasted years. You must transform the abstract notion of wealth into a concrete, measurable plan that your mind can immediately commence executing. The absence of a definite purpose is in itself a definite purpose to fail. Your definitive plan is the channel through which the universal laws of success are organized and directed toward your personal objective. We must leave nothing to the vague mercy of fate, but command our future with precision and conviction. The permanent level, escaping the indifference trap. Here is the scientific method tested and proven by the world's financial leaders for transmuting desire into its financial equivalent. Fix the exact result and reciprocal service. Determine precisely the exact amount of money you intend to acquire. Do not allow your desire to remain vague. Name the figure. Then determine exactly what service, skill, or commodity you intend to give in return for the money. The law of equivalent exchange is absolute. You must be prepared to match your definite demand with a worthwhile contribution. Vague demand yields nothing. Definite demand organizes the means for its attainment. This demands intellectual honesty about both your target and your value. The definiteness of your intended service is the foundation of your financial contract with the world. The mind works with perfect precision only when provided with the numerical and material equivalent of the desire. Precision is the spiritual requirement for receiving financial reward, and clarity is the first step toward power. Establish a hard deadline. Set a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. The time you lost was due to indefinite goals. The new race for fortunes requires definiteness of purpose. If you do not set a date, your subconscious mind sees no urgency, and your effort will remain scattered across the calendar. The act of setting a definite date forces your mind to immediately organize a plan. The clock starts now. A definite time limit is essential to compel the subconscious to act. It must be an appointment you cannot miss. Without a strict deadline, the subconscious mind remains dormant and allows procrastination to thrive. The deadline converts the desire from a pleasant dream into a necessary organized task. This deadline serves as the point of focus for your energy, demanding continuous rather than sporadic effort. It is the non-negotiable term of your new contract with yourself, eliminating the option of indefinite delay. Create a plan and begin at once, ready or not. Create a definite, practical plan for carrying out your desire, and begin at once to put this plan into action, whether you feel you are ready or not. The man who waits for perfection will remain in stasis. Action cures fear. Action defines your plan through immediate practical application. This immediately breaks the habit of seeking perfection before action. Do not spend another day analyzing. Start moving with the knowledge and resources you possess. The moment you commit and move, the power of definite action is released. Initial movement is the primary indicator of serious intent. The universe supports the determined mover. The willingness to start incomplete is the secret weapon against the paralysis of analysis. Commitment to immediate, continuous action is the point at which you cross the divide between wishing and willing. You cannot steer a ship that is not moving. Therefore, movement is mandatory. Write the command. Write out a clear, concise statement of your definite chief aim, including the exact amount of money, the deadline, the reciprocal service you will give, and your plan. This simple act provides concrete form to the intangible desire. A goal that is not written is merely a wish that has been conveniently forgotten. This statement must be carried with you and be instantly accessible, acting as the master blueprint for your mind. The written word holds a magnetic force that the passing thought lacks. The written statement serves as the central command post for all your organized efforts and prevents the mind from drifting. This written statement is the verbal link between your conscious thought and the subconscious mind, which is the seat of creative intelligence. This physical act of writing is the formal declaration to yourself and the world that your ambition is now fixed and immutable, leaving no room for convenient self-deception, and serving as a continuous reminder of your solemn oath, the twice-daily ritual of faith. Read your written statement aloud, twice daily, once before retiring at night and once upon arising in the morning. These are the moments when the subconscious mind is most receptive to command. This is not a casual reading. It is a ritual of faith, designed to embed your definite purpose deep within your working mind. You are administering a definite, repetitive command to the powerhouse of your mind. This ritual creates the mental momentum necessary to overcome the inertia of past habits. This consistent repetition is how you cultivate the habit of faith. These 20 minutes a day are the systematic spiritual training required to eliminate skepticism and build an unshakable belief. You are feeding your subconscious mind the necessary material for organized creation, just as a master builder feeds his machines, transforming belief from a passive hope into an active, vibrating force. Emotionalize the possession. As you read your statement, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. You must mix deep emotion, or feeling, which is the substance of faith, with your words, because plain, unemotional words are of no consequence to the subconscious mind. Your Christian's subconscious mind will not act on mere words, but it will act on words charged with emotion. Faith is the only force capable of bridging the gap between desire and its material equivalent. This emotional infusion is what allows compressed time to become possible. Emotion is the vitalizing force that turns mental instructions into physical facts. The feeling of attainment is the ultimate proof of faith, compelling the subconscious to seek out reality. Emotion is the catalyst that allows the mental vibration of desire to translate into physical manifestation. The infusion of feeling the ultimate force of the mind is what separates the philosopher from the millionaire, generating the magnetic energy that attracts its physical counterpart, ensuring your mind works with, not against, your definite purpose. This focused desire is the accelerated start. It is not a promise of instant fortune. It is a guarantee of instant direction. The indifference trap is broken the moment you issue your first definite command. The critical truth, mastery of delay. The most ignored truth after 30 is that lack of decision locks you into the ordinary. You must eliminate procrastination, the common enemy, by adopting the habit of prompt and permanent action. The slow decider is the victim of his own mind. He confuses caution with indecision. The indecisive man fears starting because he fears making a mistake, but the fear of a mistake is a far greater error than the mistake itself. You have allowed yourself to be handicapped by paralysis, by analysis, endlessly seeking more data, more education, and more opinions. Every moment spent analyzing without acting is a victory for procrastination. The habit of delay is the most insidious form of resistance to the law of definite purpose. Procrastination is often disguised as thoroughness, but it is always rooted in the fear of consequences. The constant postponement of action is the ultimate result of a mind that lacks self-confidence and definite purpose. The slow decider is a slave to circumstance, waiting for conditions to be perfect while the commander molds conditions to suit his objective. This habit alone is enough to nullify all your hard-earned knowledge, trapping you perpetually in the stage of preparation, often until the end of life's efforts. The history of fortune is the history of men who made swift, firm decisions. Conversely, lack of decision is near the head of the list of major causes of failure. The rich reach decisions promptly and change them slowly, if at all. The average man changes his mind quickly and often, usually based on the untested opinions of others. Your age means you cannot afford the luxury of changing your mind frequently. You must cultivate the habit of finality once a plan is adopted. Fickleness of mind is the surest sign of a lack of a definite chief aim. The ability to render a swift, firm decision is the primary characteristic of true leadership. The quality of one's decisions far outweighs the sheer quantity of one's knowledge. Great leaders are defined not by their deliberation, but by their finality when the time for action arrives, understanding that a delayed decision is functionally the same as a negative decision. The world stands aside for the determined man. Consider the prompt and definite decision of the 56 members of the Continental Congress to sign a document that might bring freedom or leave every one of them hanging from a gallows. This monumental act required faith and courage because the outcome was far from certain. The decision itself, the willingness to risk everything for a definite purpose, was the power that galvanized a nation. They did not wait for the time to be right. They commanded the right time through their action. Their decision was a declaration of intent to the universe that eliminated all compromise. The power of their united decision created a moral force that overwhelmed the logistical limitations. They understood that a well-executed plan today is worth more than a perfect plan delayed indefinitely. The decisiveness of those 56 men became the organizing principle for an entire new civilization. Your own personal declaration must possess this same uncompromising force and weight. Ambiguity is not an option. You must apply this courage now. Your struggle is not a deficiency of intelligence, but a failure to apply the energy of thought through the channel of a firm decision. Decision is the highest form of courage you can demonstrate to your subconscious mind. The mind cannot move forward until the conscious will gives an unequivocal order. The greatest risk you face now is not failure, but the certainty of regret that comes from continued inaction. Every opportunity lost to delay is a gift to your competitors. The market rewards speed and finality, not caution and hesitation. Time is your most perishable asset. Your specific action steps to master delay and defeat procrastination are: reach decisions promptly and change them slowly, if at all. This is the first mark of a leader. Promptness in decision-making is essential for the late starter who seeks to accelerate his timeline. Do not hesitate over small matters. Decisiveness must become an unconscious reflex. The practice of swift decision builds self-confidence, while delay cultivates fear. The discipline of prompt decision is essential to generating momentum. Make it a habit to decide every matter, large or small, within a specific time limit you impose upon yourself. The habit of prompt decision is a signal to your subconscious that you are serious about your definite chief aim, compelling it to find methods for execution. It is the motor starter for organized effort and the antidote to regret. Reduce your practical plans to writing. Your desire is intangible. Your plan must give it concrete form. The written plan serves only as a starting map. Write out the steps needed to acquire your definite chief aim. The act of writing the plan clarifies thought and provides the necessary structure for the subconscious mind to follow. The plan must be fluid, capable of constant adjustment, but the goal must be fixed. Keep your own counsel strategically. Do not talk too freely about your plans, as you may be beaten to your goal by someone putting your plans into action ahead of you. Keep your own counsel regarding your plans, except with your trusted mastermind group. The world is full of skeptics who will plant seeds of doubt. Your silence is your protection, and your certainty is your strength against those who wish you to remain where you are. Rebuild plans, not desires, after defeat. If a plan fails, accept it as temporary defeat, not permanent failure, and immediately rebuild those plans and set sail once more toward your goal. The desire remains fixed. The plan is mutable. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. The temporary setback is merely an instruction, not a verdict. requiring a change of plans, never a change of definite aim. This resilience is the signature of the mature starter who understands the fluid nature of execution. Act on inspiration immediately. If plans flash into your mind as inspiration through the sixth sense, put them into action immediately. Do not wait to see if they are perfect. You must correct the plan in motion, for motion is the antidote to regret. If you delay, the inspiration will vanish. Inspiration is fragile. It must be met with immediate action to survive. All great ideas are born and expire in an instant if they are not seized. The immediate response to inspiration is the critical difference between the dreamer and the doer. Inspiration is a transient visitor. Honor it with swift execution. Accurate thinking. Practice accurate thinking by separating facts from mere information, avoiding guesswork and opinions. Base your decisions only on facts relevant to your definite chief aim. Most opinions, especially those that discourage you, are worthless. Do not confuse the gossip of the fearful with verified knowledge. The true leader deals in the cold, hard facts relevant to his goal, not the emotional conjecture of the crowd. Accurate thinking is the foundation of all sound plans and eliminates the necessity of constant second-guessing. This mental discipline ensures that your decisions are rooted in truth and logic, not in emotional reaction or societal trends, saving valuable time and preventing costly errors. You have been handed the formula for quick, firm decision. The power is not in the reading of this step, but in the immediate adoption of the habit. The moment you decide and move, the universe organizes itself to meet your action. Every year of indecision now subtracts 5 years from your future freedom. If you delay this command, you are choosing to stay average, destroying the average mindset. The seventh basic evil. To achieve the exceptional, you must destroy the thoughts that harmonize with poverty. Poverty consciousness will voluntarily seize the mind not occupied with money consciousness. The ignored truth here is that you must master susceptibility to negative influences, the seventh basic evil, because your environment is poisoning your progress. The average mindset is a fortress built from negative self-talk, deep-seated doubt, and the constant input of pessimistic acquaintances. If your life still looks the same, it means you have allowed this mental poison to dominate your mind, leading you to feel doomed to failure and lacking self-control over your thoughts. Negative thoughts are the weeds that choke the garden of success, requiring constant and ruthless uprooting. The mind that harbors negative thought impulses is actively attracting failure. A mind not commanded by definite purpose is automatically controlled by negative thoughts and external influences. The silent, subconscious acceptance of limitation is the chief cause of financial stagnation. This negative magnetism must be consciously neutralized by the superior force of faith, which is the only weapon capable of combating it. You cannot accumulate money if you are surrounded by men who speak of poverty and failure. Your mind is an instrument that assimilates the thought vibrations of your environment. If you constantly hear doubt and limitation, your mind will harmonize with it. You must recognize that the most insidious forms of resistance come from those closest to you, family or friends, who, out of fear or envy, project their own mediocrity onto your ambition. This mental contamination is often subtle, entering the mind through jokes, complaints, and pessimistic forecasts. The law of mental suggestion ensures that the negative vibrations of others will sabotage your own definite purpose unless you build an immunity. Your mental environment must become a controlled sanctuary for the definite chief aim. You must become the censor of your own mental atmosphere, permitting only thoughts that contribute to your definite purpose and success. The power of telepathic suggestion from your environment is immense and must be guarded against with vigilance. You must understand the power of autosuggestion. You have been using it against yourself. Every time you listened to a critic, every time you doubted your DCA, you were issuing a command for failure. Your mind does not care if the thought is positive or negative. It simply receives the command and organizes your life to match it. Autosuggestion is the key to voluntary control over the laws of the mind, allowing you to impose positive beliefs upon your core intelligence, overriding decades of destructive programming, and ensuring internal alignment with your goals. The power of knowing what one wants and being unafraid to back that dream is perfectly illustrated by Henry Ford. Ford was a success because he understood and applied the principles of success, including desire. He was constantly criticized, mocked, and told his plans were impossible, yet he used his willpower to build a wall of immunity against every critic. He recognized that the voices of the fearful were trying to impose poverty consciousness onto his mind. We will now detail the precise mental actions required to secure your fortune against every internal and external doubt. Ford's genius lay not only in assembly lines, but in the mental discipline to filter out the noise of impossibility. Ford's success was proof that a mind directed by a definite aim and shielded by willpower can withstand any public opposition. Ford achieved financial mastery through mental mastery. Ford's absolute independence of thought was a greater factor in his fortune than any patent or process, demonstrating the invincibility of a highly concentrated mind. To rise above the average, you must become the absolute master and filter of your mental environment. Your specific action steps to destroy the average mindset are: use the self-confidence formula daily. Write out and repeat the written formula aloud once a day with full faith. This written commitment mandates persistent, aggressive, and continuous action toward your definite purpose. More critically, it helps you eliminate the negative qualities that sabotage success, such as hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism. This formula is your shield and sword against the spiritual adversaries of poverty. It acts as a powerful mental disinfectant. The daily recitation, charged with emotion, is the only means of ensuring that the subconscious mind receives a positive, unwavering signal. The formula is the mechanism for consciously saturating the subconscious with the faith required for success, eliminating the need for external validation and replacing it with self-generated belief, which is the only reliable kind. Concentrate and visualize. Concentrate your thoughts for 30 minutes daily on thinking of the person you intend to become, creating a clear mental picture. The image of your future self must be so real that you feel the confidence that accompanies it. This is how you deliberately program money consciousness. The concentrated thought must be held with unwavering focus until it becomes a fixed reality in your mental world. This exercise is the mental equivalent of physical training, strengthening your capacity for belief. This deliberate visualization stimulates the creative imagination, which is the true workshop of the mind. The imagination is the faculty through which the physical world is molded from the mental blueprint. It must be fed the image of success, not failure, with burning intensity and conviction. Build a wall of immunity. Use your willpower constantly to build a wall of immunity, to guard against negative influences. Keep your mind closed against all people who depress or discourage you in any way. This is not arrogance. It is the essential practice of self-control. The mature man chooses his influences deliberately. Every negative statement you hear must be met with an immediate opposing statement of faith in your definite chief aim. The man who commands wealth must first command the threshold of his own mind, preventing the entry of destructive thoughts. Willpower is the essential tool for controlling the communication lines of the subconscious mind. The deliberate refusal to accept doubt is the key to maintaining mental equilibrium during setbacks, guaranteeing sustained effort and protecting your mental capital. Eliminate negative emotions. Eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism from your mind, as these are fatal to success. These are the destructive emotions that harmonize your mind with failure and poverty. These destructive emotions consume the vitality necessary for positive action and creative thought. A mind cluttered with envy or malice lacks the clear channel required for the law of autosuggestion to function effectively. No one can achieve great success while simultaneously harboring destructive emotions towards others. These corrosive emotions drain the vital energy that should be dedicated to achieving your definite purpose, acting as a spiritual tax on your ambition and making you repellent to harmonious collaborators. Conduct an environment audit. Honestly assess your 5 closest associates. Which 3 voices are critical, cynical, or constantly focused on limitation? You cannot be successful while constantly submitting your mind to these influences. Limit interaction with them to absolute necessity for the next 60 days. Your spiritual obligation to your own success is greater than your social obligation to those who undermine it. Do not hesitate to purge your life of those who are infected with poverty consciousness. The elimination of toxic influences is a surgical strike required for mental health and financial acceleration. Protect your mental space as you would the sanctity of your written definite chief aim, ensuring every influence supports your mission. The mind that harbors doubt and fear will remain average forever. Command your thoughts, and you command your results. The leverage principle: organized knowledge and the mastermind. If you are in your 30s or more, you cannot afford to achieve power slowly. The average person ignores the power of organized knowledge. We will trade your past experience for instant power using the mastermind principle. The tragedy of the man stuck in the ordinary is that he attempts to climb the mountain of success carrying the entire load himself. He assumes he must acquire all specialized knowledge through slow, painful effort, and he limits his success to his own physical output. This is why he reaches a career ceiling alone. Individual effort, unorganized and unaided, is rarely sufficient to accumulate a great fortune. The highest achievement is always the result of coordinated, organized effort. The time you have to acquire knowledge is too short to rely solely on personal experience. You must leverage the experience of others. The successful utilization of the mastermind is the essential difference between the manual laborer and the financial commander, allowing for the maximum application of power and intelligence. Power is not just knowledge. It is organized and intelligently directed knowledge. Since your time is limited, the mastermind principle, the 9th step toward riches, is the greatest tool for acceleration. It allows you to borrow the knowledge, experience, and manpower of others instantly, providing leverage that singular effort cannot match. The mastermind is the source of the superior ideas and plans necessary for compressed time achievement. This principle is the ultimate shortcut for the late starter, granting access to a collective intelligence vastly superior to any one individual. Through the mastermind, you achieve the power of organized thought, which is the only type of power capable of converting your definite purpose into vast wealth and accelerating your timeline by years. You must understand this truth. General knowledge is of but little use in accumulating money. You must have specialized knowledge relevant to your definite chief aim. If you lack this knowledge, the fastest way to obtain it is through a harmonious alliance. Specialized knowledge is the stock in trade for your success. Without it, you are merely trading time. The man who commands specialized knowledge, or knows where to find it, holds the keys to the marketplace. The market rewards men who specialize and organize, not men who generalize and isolate. The mastermind allows you to specialize in leadership and organization, while utilizing the specialized skills of your allies, achieving unparalleled efficiency, and saving years of personal study and costly trial and error. Look at the history of Andrew Carnegie. He accumulated hundreds of millions of dollars, yet he did not possess superior technical knowledge of steel manufacture. His genius was in the organization of brains. He made practical use of the mastermind principle by surrounding himself with men who supplied the specialized knowledge and organized effort he lacked. He was the coordinator of genius, not the source of all genius. By leveraging the minds of men like Charles Schwab and others, he achieved organized power that was impossible for any competitor working alone. Your age means you possess the maturity, stability, and definite purpose required to attract and lead superior minds. The ability to organize and direct a mastermind group makes you just as much a person of education and power as any expert within the group. Your definiteness of purpose is the primary attraction factor for superior minds. Your maturity and definite aim are the necessary conditions for establishing a mutually beneficial mastermind. The organized mind is inherently attractive to other keen minds, creating a synergistic effect. The mastermind eliminates the handicap of limited personal time and capacity which is crucial for the late starter, by maximizing the potential of collective intelligence and minimizing costly delays. Your specific action steps to leverage the mastermind principle are: organize your mastermind alliance. Ally yourself with a mastermind group of as many people as you may need, 2 or more, for the creation and execution of your definite plan. Your alliance must contain the specialized knowledge and skills you lack. Identify exactly which skills, finance, law, marketing, or invention, you must borrow to execute your definite chief aim on an accelerated timeline. The careful selection of individuals whose knowledge compensates for your own deficiencies is the first step in creating organized power, ensuring all crucial bases of knowledge and influence are covered. Maintain perfect harmony. You must maintain perfect harmony between yourself and every member of your mastermind group. This is absolutely essential. Disharmony destroys the creative synergy of the group, and the collective mind power is lost. Harmony is the fuel that runs the mastermind. Any conflict based on ego or rivalry must be immediately extinguished, as it dissolves the third mind. The maintenance of harmony is the non-negotiable spiritual prerequisite for the mastermind to function as a unified intelligence, ensuring creative synthesis and optimal mental collaboration, making the collective infallible. Bridge knowledge gaps. Utilize the group to bridge any weakness in your specialized knowledge, recognizing that general knowledge is of but little use in accumulating money. Every member must contribute their specific expertise to the central aim. This organized reservoir of knowledge ensures that temporary defeat is always met with an immediate superior plan. This leveraging of knowledge is the direct way to redeem the time you spent acquiring general knowledge in earlier years, converting passive learning into active power. Practice invisible counsel. Practice conducting invisible counsel meetings with historical figures or mentors whose qualities you desire to acquire. For example, Carnegie for organization, Edison for persistence. This process stimulates your creative imagination and makes your mind receptive to ideas and knowledge that shortens the learning curve dramatically. Mentally consulting the great minds of the past provides instant wisdom and guidance, acting as an additional master mind layer without the complication of physical meetings, self-analysis, and accountability. Practice self-analysis regularly to discover what has been standing between you and the big money. The truth will reveal that your greatest weakness is likely a lack of persistence, indecision, or susceptibility to negative influences. Use the group for accountability and honest feedback. The mastermind serves as your board of directors, demanding honest assessment of your progress and weaknesses. The relentless pursuit of self-knowledge and immediate correction is vital for accelerated achievement, ensuring that your mastermind acts as a constant corrective force against your personal flaws. The mastermind provides this organized effort, allowing the late starter to immediately command vast resources of intellect and power. The insurance policy against average persistence. The ignored truth that keeps men average forever is the lack of persistence. Once you hit 30, quitting at the first sign of defeat is a habit that must be crushed, or you will remain perpetually stuck. Persistence is the single quality that failure cannot withstand. Persistence is the 8th step toward riches, and it is the only true insurance policy against failure. The average person quits when overtaken by temporary defeat, which is a great tragedy because temporary defeat is often a signal that success is near. The failure to acquire the habit of persistence is directly traceable to the lack of a definite chief aim. Without a burning desire, the first major setback will inevitably lead to retreat. The test of persistence is crucial because it reveals whether your desire is merely a wish or a non-negotiable command. Persistence is the final test imposed by the universe on all who seek great wealth. The wealth you seek often lies just beyond the point where the majority of men cease their effort, demanding that final, sustained burst of will and courage. The most effective lesson on the value of persistence comes from Thomas A. Edison. The common man would say Edison failed 10,000 times before perfecting the incandescent light bulb. But Edison himself met with that temporary defeat 10,000 times, yet he persisted because his definite chief aim was unwavering. He refused to recognize failure as permanent. Edison understood that temporary defeat is merely a test of faith and a necessary step in the learning process. The man who persists recognizes that every obstacle is simply a challenge to his definite purpose, revealing a faulty plan that requires immediate correction, and refuses to accept anything less than complete success. Your age gives you the wisdom to endure. The youthful mind often sees temporary defeat as final. The mature mind understands that difficulty is merely a test of your definite purpose. If your life is to accelerate now, you must adopt the mindset of W.C. Fields and Marie Dressler, who staged astounding triumphs around age 60. Their financial success came late because they relied on persistence and courage to overcome past mistakes. Their late achievements prove that the power of persistence is immune to the restrictions of the calendar. The mature man has the advantage of knowing that no defeat is fatal except the one that occurs in the heart. The years you spent struggling were simply training your spirit for the persistent effort required now. Your accumulated pain and experience are the ultimate preparation for the test of persistence. Do not allow that tuition to have been paid in vain, but demand the return on your investment in wisdom. To accelerate your success, you must eliminate the habits that sabotage follow-through. Your specific action steps to secure this insurance policy are: make persistence your watchword. If you find yourself lacking in persistence, remedy this by building a stronger fire under your burning desire. Ensure your persistence is backed by continuous action on a definite plan. Persistence is not merely passive endurance. It is active, continuous action. The greater the intensity of the desire, the less effort is required to maintain persistence. You must cultivate the habit of finishing what you start, no matter the difficulty or the temptation to quit. Develop persistence through the 4 steps. Ensure your efforts are based on the 4 elements essential for the habit of persistence. A definite purpose backed by burning desire. A definite plan expressed in continuous action. A mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences. A friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage you to follow through, the mastermind. Persistence is the spiritual discipline that translates thought into material reality, making it the bedrock of faith and the guarantee of eventual success. Reframe adversity. When defeat occurs, remember that every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Do not mourn the loss. Analyze the lesson. The mature individual knows that the greatest strength comes from having paid the cost of mistakes and surviving. Every failure contains the exact blueprint for the next, more successful attempt. The temporary defeat must be viewed as corrective feedback from the universe, pointing toward the correct path. The ability to find the seed of advantage in every defeat is the hallmark of the genius of persistence, compelling success and guaranteeing profit from every setback. Perform annual self-analysis. Perform an annual self-analysis to disclose any backward steps and decrease your faults. Follow the instructions in this philosophy with everlasting persistence. This regular inventory ensures you do not regress into the habit of quitting. This systematic review allows you to turn mistakes into wisdom and prevents stagnation. The purpose of the annual audit is to force an honest confrontation with one's lack of persistence and correct the cause immediately. This self-assessment is the insurance policy that guarantees you will profit from past defeats, ensuring continuous progress and preventing relapse into mediocrity, maintaining your momentum. The lack of persistence is the single greatest weakness of the common man. It is the habit that keeps men perpetually stuck in the average level. Master persistence, and you command the final key to success. I know that some of what I teach can feel overwhelming, especially when you are staring at a long road of lost years and a definite goal that feels distant. You may secretly worry that you are too old to start or that your mistakes were too great. I have spent a lifetime organizing this philosophy from the greatest minds the world has ever known. And I tell you this, your age is not a barrier. Your indecision is. Your past is not a chain. It is the fuel for your present desire. If you have found yourself resonating with this message, if you refuse to accept a life dictated by past regrets, then I command you to find the resources here that will support your new journey. I urge you to subscribe to this channel now. Join the alliance of men and women who have made the definite decision to compress time and claim their reward. This channel is not built on hope. It is built on the law. Subscribe now so you do not miss the command that will change your life next. If you know someone else who has the intelligence and the ambition, but is stalled by doubt and regret, then you must share this teaching with them. Do not delay. Share this video with one person you know who is still waiting to start. You may be the catalyst that ignites their definite chief aim. And for yourself, I have a simple command. In the comments below, write down your current age and your definite chief aim. This is a small act of decision, a public commitment to your subconscious mind that the waiting is over and the commanding has begun. Do it now. The wealth you desire is not waiting for your perfection. It is waiting for your decision and your organized movement. Your true life, the life of command, of purpose, and of freedom, does not begin with your first paycheck. It begins with your first definite command to your own mind. Do not let your life be a monument to what could have been. Refuse to be a slave to any man, or any fear, or any past mistake. You were born to command wealth, not to work until life's end. You are not too late, but you do not have time to waste. Start now. This channel walks with you.